anything really else. I mean, I don't know. My main team. They only miss for life.
Would you say a prayer? Would you give us a prayer?
Sure.
Before we open the meeting, I'm going to ask Dr. Rivera to give us a word of prayer for the deliberations we're about to perform.
Yes, sir. Just lower your head so you would. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day of life you've given us today. For the blessings you continue to give us, the things that you prepare for us for our future life. Most of all, we thank you for that unconditional love you have for us. We ask you to be with us tonight, to guide us, to lead us in the decision making that we have before us, that the decisions we make will be a benefit to our students, our staff, our instructors, administration, and the board members. And we ask all of this in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I hereby, it's now 6 a.m. and I'll open the meeting. I would like to begin by recognizing our guests. We're rather numerous tonight. Thank you for coming. Our guests include Wade Carpenter, Christine Chapoy, Brenda Cantu, Carrie Pierce, Martha Lopez, Delia Aviles, Rosa Rodriguez, Silviana Quintero, Denise Martin, Vanessa Villarreal, Danielle Velasquez, Landra Feller, Ruby Casares, Angel Cruz, Aida Escamilla, Lisa Irvis, Mark Underwood, Clarissa Hernandez, Al Salinas, April Ruman, Aubrey Haynes, Armando Mondragon, Carlos Lopez, Brenda Hoffman, Judy Estrada, Cruz Mata, Sarada Ariano Sanchez, Derek Sandoval, Emmanuel Zamora, Yesenia Silva, Eric Eid, J.A. Pierce, Steve Martinez, Roxana Linan, Margot Mata, Connie Silva, Judge Bella A. Rubio from Brielle County. Welcome all. Do you have an audience to patrons?
No, sir.
The audience to patrons, we will consider an act on the audited financial statements from Eden Company at this time.
Eric, and they have a copy of the audit report.
Everybody should have a copy. If you'll open it up to page 5, this is your audit opinion. You received an unmodified opinion again this year. This is the best opinion you can receive. That in our opinion, the financial statements are presented fairly in conformity with generally accepted accounting principles as of the end of your year, August 31st, 2025. The only change that we do have, if you'll look down about the third paragraph there, we did have a change in accounting principles this year. The Governmental Accounting Standards Board issued statement number 101 for compensated absences, which states that you have to now book as a liability what it will cost you if everyone were to leave and you had to pay out all your sick leave. And in your case, it was about a $204,000 hit to your fund balance. It went into as a liability. But that is the only modification there. It's not really a modification, just a change in accounting principles. Starting on page 8 is the management discussion and analysis. This is the same information that's presented in the body of the financial statements. This presented in a graphical and narrative format. As you go through here, you'll see pie charts of your revenues and expenditures. We have condensed comparisons between year 24 and year 25, along with changes there. So again, it's the same information in the body of financial statements. I will come back to one of these schedules a little bit later on when we get through with the audit. But for now, we're going to skip those and go directly into the body of the financial statements on page 22. This is your statement of net position. Top part of our page is our assets. The middle of it's our liabilities and our deferred out inflows, and then the bottom is our net position. So you can see for the year 2025, we had total assets at the end of the year of $99,229 as opposed to $99,229 as opposed to $82,771 in the prior year. Our deferred outflow of resources were $4.6 million as opposed to $5.7 million in the prior year. Our current liabilities were roughly the same as they were in the prior year, $11,123 as opposed to $11,187. Our non-current liabilities went up this year, mainly due to the fact that we did have the additional bonds that were levied right there at the end of the year. So our total long-term debt is $66,433,827 as opposed to $52 million in the prior year. You'll see that net sick bank liability that I talked about at the bottom of the before we get to the non-current liabilities, $204,000. But your bonds payable at the end of last year were $14 million. This year, $23 million. The deferred outflows, again, for pensions, OPB, and leases, was 4.6 million as opposed to 8.4 million in the prior year. The bottom line, our total net position was 21,685,690 as opposed to 15,859 in the prior year. We still have a negative unrestricted net position, which you like other entities are having because of having to put the pension liability and the other post-employment benefit liability on your balance sheet several years ago. Most all entities have negative net positions because of that. So, but you're gradually getting that whittled away because of increasing your fund balance, which we'll see in a minute. We'll skip the next page because it's the foundation, which we're going to look at as a separate audit later on. So if you'll turn to page 24, this is your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in net position. Top part of our page is our operating revenues. Middle is our operating expenses. Then we have an operating loss, and then we have non-operating revenues, and then our increase and decrease in net position. So you can see that our operating revenues for the year were 16,781 as opposed to 16,774. Not very much change there in our operating revenues. On our expenditure, operating expenses, we had 55 million worth of operating expenses this year as opposed to 52 million in the prior year. A lot of that was due to the federal programs, which we'll see a little bit breakdown later. We had more in Pell expenditures, I believe, is what the problem was there. Our non-operating revenues, this is where the majority of our increase in our fund balance came from. We had 44 million in operating revenues and expenses this year as opposed to 40 million in the prior year. So in the bottom line, when we subtract net operating loss from our operating revenues, we come up with an increase in our net position this year of 5,990,112. You can see that that's even better than we did last year. We thought we had a really good year last year with a $4,200,000 increase in our net position. So all in all, very good increase there. When we add that to our beginning net position, we have an ending net position of $21 million. We did have to do a prior period adjustment this year because of that change in accounting principles for compensated absences, and that was $164,000 to figure out what our fund balance would have been at the beginning of the year. If you'll turn to page 26, this is a statement of cash flow. This shows you where your cash came from and where it went. We had $35 million worth of cash that was used by our operations. However, we had financing activities. Basically, we had state appropriations and ad valorem taxes, et cetera, that brought in $42 million worth of cash. We used some of that cash for buying capital assets and paying off our old debt and issuance of new debt. The net of that was a $5 million increase in our cash. We had our change in our investments. They went down by or increased our cash by $211,000. So the bottom line is we had an increase in cash for this year of $12,780,875. Starting on page 28 are the notes to the financial statements. These are the notes that are required by generally accepted accounting principles. I won't go through a lot of these, but I do want to point out some of the things that I'd like for you to look at. If you could look at page 35. This is a schedule of changes in your property tax and property and equipment. And we start off with what our property and equipment was at the beginning of the year, the increases, the decreases, et cetera. The reason I wanted you to look at this is I want to point out to you that we did have a pretty substantial increase in our capital assets this year. If you look at that increase column there, we have $1.4 million that's in construction in process for the year. We also had $3,400,000 worth of capital projects, purchase of equipment, et cetera. So again, with having a increase in your fund balance and being able to do this, that's very well. I would like to turn to page 38. This is the long-term debt, note number 8. The top one, note number 6, I'm sorry, number 6 on page 38. Again, shows what your debt was at the beginning of the year, what our increases were and our decreases. So I wanted to point this out because our bonds did go up this year. We had the new bond issue where we refinanced part of the old bonds and then had new bonds issued. So our bonds went up $14 million. However, we paid off $5.8 million there. So we had a net increase in our debt for the year. So that funded some of our capital projects activities. That's about it for the notes. I would like for you to turn to page 70 towards the end of the audit. This is a breakdown of our operating revenues more in detail. Before we looked at it as just a total amount. This shows you by tuition, fees, allowances, etc. So you can see that our tuition this year was $13,566,000 as opposed to $12,902,000 in the prior year. We had about a $660,000 increase in our tuition. Our fees were approximately the same, about $100,000 more, not much. Our scholarship allowances, again, I said we did have more Pell this year. Therefore, the amount that we paid out to students for Pell increased also. So our amount of scholarships and allowances was $10,500,000 opposed to $9,500,000 in the prior year. We still have, we had a little bit of a decrease in our total net tuition and fees. It was $8 million as opposed to $8.1 million in the prior year. Additional operating revenues this year was $7.8 million as opposed to $7.7 million. Again, those amounts were approximately the same. And then we had our auxiliary, which is the bookstore and daycare and the dorms, $877,000 this year as opposed to $838,000 in the prior year. So you can see the bottom line, our operating revenues were pretty much right on par with what they were last year. Our schedule of operating expenses on the next page, page 71, shows that our total amount that we spent for unrestricted educational activities was $36,900,000 as opposed to $36 million in the prior year. So again, that is pretty much right on par with what we had in the prior year. Our restricted for educational activities was a little higher than what we had last year, $13,800,000 as opposed to $12 million. So our total educational activities, $50,758,000 as opposed to $48 million in the prior year. Our depreciation was there at the bottom of the page. So when we total all those up, we had total expenses this year of operating expenses of $55 million as opposed to $52 million in the prior year. On page 72, this is a breakdown of our non-operating revenues, and this is where the majority of our increase in our fund balance came from. We had state appropriations this year were $20,942,000 as opposed to $19,249,000 in the prior year. Our non-operating revenue is $45 million, almost $46 million, as opposed to $40 million, almost $41 million in the prior year. The big one there is our federal revenues. Like I said before, we did receive a lot more in federal programs this year because of the Pell program. Again, that's kind of misleading because even though we receive more money in Pell funding, it is paid out to the students. So it's not necessarily all to our bottom line. Part of our procedures is we're required to, because you receive more than $750,000 worth of federal funds, we're required to do what's called a single audit, where we have to go in and do additional testing of your federal programs and pick one program that we pick as your major program. Our opinion letter on page 78 is our opinion on your compliance and internal controls over the entire federal program system. And in this case, what this letter is stating is that we found no instances of non-compliance or internal control issues in the overall federal programs. The next opinion on page 80 is our opinion on the major programs. And in this case, your major program was your student financial aid cluster, your Pell program, direct student loans, SEOG, and federal work study program. And what this opinion says is based just on that one program, we did more extensive testing and compliance of that program, and we found no issues of compliance or internal control problems with that. I would like to get you to flip back for a minute and look at page, let me see if I can find it. If you can turn back to page 17 in the management discussion analysis. This is a graph along with a chart down at the bottom that shows what your fund balance is without all of the other post-employment benefit liability, the pension liability, the compensated absence liability, basically things that you control, because these other compensated absences and post-employment benefits, those are things that we're having to put a liability on that is just for future that that doesn't impact our current operations. This is getting it down to just your true fund balance. And what I'd like to point out is look at how that thing has grown. Back in 2019, your fund balance was $23 million. Now we're sitting at $57,605,000. In 6 years, you've grown $34 million in your fund balance. A lot of that happened here the last couple of years because Dr. Gonzalez can probably answer this better than I do, but the change in the state's funding has really impacted your bottom line.
Two things. The first one, if you notice the big change from 20 to 21, and that's how we handled the COVID pandemic and the infusion of the CARES money, and where a lot of institutions had to use that to balance their budgets. We were balanced without that CARES money, so we banked that, and you can see that increase there from the 20 to 21 year. That was a big portion. And then from the 24 to 25 year, it is, as Mr. Eads said, it is the additional funding that we're receiving on performance-based funding now, as opposed to contact hour-based that was there in the past. Thank you for calling that out. I had that one flagged.
Like I say, it's impressive that we've and you're right. I think that if my memory serves me right, you received over $25 million over the entire COVID money that you received, and were able to supplement your fund balance with that. Most all of our school districts were able to do the same. We have a few school districts that didn't, and they're paying the price for that now because they were counting on that money coming in, and it's not. So it enabled a lot of our governments to be able to get back in the black a little bit there. So again, that's going through things pretty fast. I know you've got a big meeting tonight. The bottom line is that we had a fairly sizable increase in our fund balance this year. Again, no compliance issues that we came up with. So questions from the board?
I just want to call their attention to one more chart, and it's one of the statistical ones on page 101. I'll give you a moment to flip to page 101. This statistical supplement identifies our transfer institutions. And if you look at the total there, we had, it's lagging, so it's for year 23-24. We had 1,061 students that transferred to universities. And number 5 on that list is the University of Texas at Austin with 92 transfers. So oftentimes you're out in the community and you hear, well, your classes don't transfer to University of Texas. we had 92 students that transferred to the University of Texas, and right below that at number 6 is Texas A&M with 89 students. So I think that's an important fact that I wanted to share with you all, that a lot of our students are transferring to university. In fact, 1,061 over the academic year 23-24.
The most important thing you said, it was Texas A&M was below Tech. I don't have a lot of support from fellow Longhorns around in this part of the world, so I've got to take it when I can get it. So.
Well, and it's our top 5 transfer institution. So, I mean, I think that speaks volumes.
As you can see, this is a 102-page audit report, and I want to thank the business office, Lisa and Aubrey, for helping with this. You know, they do the majority of the heavy lifting, and I get to come in and just take all the credit for it. But again, no, they've done, you know, and the entire business office staff, because like I say, you know, anything we need, they're there available to help us with this, and we sure appreciate them. And like I say, the work that they put in to get to this presentation is a lot of work. So any other questions or clarifications?
I just want to thank you for being here for the college and
Glad to do
and helping. I know Hector, having been the CFO, he's very learned about all our finances, which I know you've been with us for how many years?
I hate to say this, but I think I've been doing this audit longer than anybody has been either on the board or either any employees anymore. A couple of your employees retired a couple of years ago, and I think that makes me having more tenure than even Dr. Gonzalez or Dr. Watkins, because they weren't even on here when I came on. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the report. We appreciate your time and your expertise.
yes, sir.
Any further information on the,
I think you did a great job.
No, sir. We're just
Thank you,
ready
Ms.
for
Green.
a
we're
motion.
going to recess for a few minutes in the open meeting and open the,
We need a motion for that, accepting the audit.
We need
first.
a.
okay, need a motion to accept the report.
I so move.
Motion been made and carried. Do we have a vote?
Second, I'll second.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
The report has been accepted. Now we're going to recess and go into the meeting of the foundation. And the meeting of the foundation will come to order. We recognize the same guests we had at the open meeting. We need to consider and act on the consent agenda. The minutes of the July 10th foundation meeting. Do I hear a motion?
I so move.
I second.
Made and seconded to accept the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We now will consider and act on the audited financial statement by Mr. Eric Eid.
This won't take near as long. You have the foundation audit in front of you. You'll turn to page 2. This is your audit opinion. You received an unmodified opinion. In our opinion, the financial statements were presented fairly in conformity with general accepted accounting principles as of the end of your year, August 31st, 2024. Starting on page 4 is the statement of financial position. Its comparison, we have the prior year on the right-hand side, the current in the middle. Our total assets in the end of the year for the foundation were $8,203,855 as opposed to $8,327,000 in the prior year. Not a lot of changes. We had some changes between our current assets and our long-term assets, but again, most of that it came out just about what it did in the prior year. Our liabilities, the one thing that I want to point out, we don't have any long-term debt anymore. You've paid off all of your notes for the foundation, which, you know, for those that don't realize, that was the reason why the foundation was formed in the first place, is because the junior college could not issue debt to build buildings outside of Uvalde County. So it's because of being able to provide those classrooms in the Del Rio and Eagle Pass area, that has funded all these, and they've been since paid off. So our total liabilities for the foundation are only $145,000. And one of those is $120,000 contingent liability for a piece of land that if you ever go out of existence, we have to pay back. So again, hardly any debt at all. So that's a good position to be in. The next page, page 5, is your statement of revenues and support and expenses. You can see that we brought in through rental activities, interest and gain on investments, $382,000. The prior year we brought in $349,000, fairly similar. Our expenses were quite a bit different this year. We had $426,000 worth of expenses as opposed to $696,000 in the prior year. Someone's going to have to help me out. The donations were down there.
In 2024, we made the donation to Union Pacific, which was given to the foundation
Gotcha.
to be turned back to the college.
Right. Okay. So that's what the difference there was. Bottom line, we had a net change in fund balance, went down by $44,000. We still have net assets at the end of the year of $8,058,000. I'm sorry. Page 6 shows the cash flows, where your cash came from and where it went. We start out with our net change in our assets, add back things so we can get back to a $200,000 increase in cash from operations. We had some short-term maturities of investments and some principal payments on our long-term debt, which gives us a total increase in cash of $118,000. Again, as I stated earlier, your debt is paid off. So I think that is, you're in a position now to start
We're doing scholarships now.
doing scholarships. I know that was what the foundation was founded on, is once the debt was paid off, it would be used for scholarships. So questions?
And I want to congratulate the foundation on becoming out of debt. That is truly miraculous.
We need a motion. We need a motion. We need a motion for the audit.
Need a motion to approve the audit.
Also move.
I second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the audit. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We will now, we'll close the
6:31.
foundation meeting and reopen the open meeting at the end of the reports.
Mr. Point for the daycare report.
We opened it.
Good evening, Dr. Watkins, Dr. Gonzalez, and board members. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. I am excited to share the many great opportunities, achievements, and ongoing activities happening at our Early Learning Center here at Southwest Texas College. We are proud of the positive impact our center has on our children and our families. I forgot. Okay, so the purpose of our program, we are campus-based childcare supporting Southwest Texas College students, faculty, and staff. We support retention on workforce stability, keeping employees over a long period of time to create consistency. We give priority to Southwest Texas families. We do have a waiting list that's maintained for faculty, staff, and students of Southwest Texas College and community. At this time, I'm going to have my staff introduce themselves. Okay.
Hello, my name is Denise Martinez. I have been employed with Southwest Texas College for 4 years. I am an assistant to Miss Christine, and I assist all the teachers.
My name is Danielle Velasquez. I've been employed for 3 years. I'm a toddler 1 teacher. I have 9 students and we're at full capacity.
Good afternoon. My name is Ruby Castres. I have worked with the Child Care Center for 10 years. I have the preschool room and after school class. I have 18 children and I am maxed out.
Hello, I'm Angel Cruz. I assist in the toddler 1 and 2, and I've been with this college for a year.
Hello, everyone. I'm Clarissa Hernandez. I've been employed with the daycare for 5 months with the infant 2 babies, and we have 10 babies, so we have room for 2 more babies.
Hi, my name is Delia Viles. I've been with Southwest Texas College for this month will be 8 years. I have toddlers 3, and I have 11 children at full capacity.
Sí, buenas noches. Yo soy Marta López y trabajo en la cocina del daycare desde hace 5 años.
Gracias.
Hello, I'm Carrie Perez. I've been the toddler 2 teacher, and I have 11 students, and I'm at full capacity, and I've been at the daycare for 1 year.
Hello, I'm Rosa Rodriguez. I've been working at Southwest Texas College for 18 years. I'm the infant 1 teacher, and I have four babies.
She'll be leaving us in May.
Good afternoon. My name is Silvia Quintero. I am in the infant 2, and I work with Ms. Clarissa. I've been here for 10 years.
Thank you. I will continue. I don't know what happened to another slide, but I am going to read our mission statement for the Child Care Center. We believe the home is a foundation of the children's development as we partner with families to support the healthy growth children through a loving, trusting, and respectful environment that fosters positive relationships and a strong sense of self. Each child's physical, social, and emotional and intellectual needs are thoughtfully supported with programs that adapt as children grow and reflect best practices and current research in human development. Children deserve a nurturing, safe, and joyful environment led by capable, caring educators who serve as positive role models and inspire a lifelong love of learning. Our enrollment right now is 68 children. We do reserve on fall and spring semester, we do reserve 10 spots for faculty, staff, and students. At this time, we are currently serving 12 families of Southwest Texas College. Two programs that we do have for child care assistance. We do have a contract with the Middle Rio Grande that based on family size and income. Anyone working 25 hours or more or attending 12 hours or more of college hours can apply for this grant. And an example of what you may pay through this grant is anywhere from $0 to $400 on a monthly basis. Here at Southwest Texas College, there is Carl Perkins funding through for college students. This is reserved for technical students only. I thought the grant pays $25 a day, but there's a correction. They pay $30 a day based on the age group. So weekly fees can run anywhere from $25 to $50 weekly for parents. And of course, these are grants that help reduce barriers for parents. Our accreditation and quality. Excuse me. We are at the highest level of Texas Rising Star. We hold a 4-star accreditation, and we are NACE certified, accredited also through the National Education of Young Children. We do exceed licensing standards. On a yearly basis, the director, myself, I do need to maintain 36 hours of professional development, as staff needs to maintain 30 hours of professional development yearly. We also must have a current food handler's card, first aid, and CPR. And of course, before coming on board, we all must clear a background check and fingerprints. Some of our benefits of having this accreditation: we do receive the highest reimbursement rate through Texas Rising Star, which is Middle Rio Grande. We are able to attend Texas Rising Star and NACE conferences that provide continuous professional development. Also, ongoing staff growth through training, coaching, and best practices from Texas Rising Star mentors. We ensure high quality, consistent care for every child. We receive stipends from Middle Rio Grande to help with teacher retention. Some of the insights of our daily routines that go on throughout the year: we do hold everybody's favorite, the Halloween on the campus. The children, their families come on board. They trick or treat around the fountain, depending, on the weather. That's one of the events that happen on a yearly basis. We do have Santa that comes and visits the children as they receive their Christmas gift. We do have Easter celebrations. We have family picnics, and something that we've implemented as per Texas Rising Star, we do have to have a lot of family engagement. So we do have monthly activities that I prepare the activity for them. We send it home. It's like homework for the children. They have to scan a QR code, answer the questions, complete the survey. After all that's done, of course, I get a notification. Then the child and the parent receive a certificate of completion. So that's something new to our program. This is a Toddler 2 classroom schedule. This is how our schedule runs on a daily basis. The children arrive, we wash their hands, we have breakfast, we go outside to play. We have their learning centers or their activity for the day. They come back in, they wash up to get ready for lunch. Wash up again, then they get ready to take a nap. They get up again so we can have snack, and again we wash hands. Outdoor play, morning and afternoon. They can have 45 minutes depending on weather. Morning and after outside play. Again, we're going to wash hands and have diaper changes, get them ready for the afternoon to go home. Again, they're playing centers, they're doing their group activity, and getting ready to go home. Partnering with families for child development. What we do on a yearly basis, we conduct 2 family conferences per year. to discuss each child's growth and development. These conferences are based on formal assessments completed in September and March and continue for the duration of the child's enrollment. ASQ assessments progress and identify areas where accommodations or additional support may be needed. If professional assistance is required, families are referred to appropriate specialists here in our community. This is our outdoor play. We do have 2 covered areas. We did install, it's what's called pour and play. It's very similar to turf. And of course, this enhances our safety and reduces the risk of injury for the students. Operational policy. Excuse me. Our operational policies are reviewed and updated annually. Policy changes may also be made through the year in response to parent feedback or incidents that occur. Examples of policies addressed include challenging behavior and custodial documentation. In cases of behavior, if a child's physical harming themselves or others, after multiple intervention attempts, the child may be sent home for the day. For custodial intervention attempts, the child may be, for custodial matters, when parents are experiencing custody-related issues, the center follows all court order documentation on file to ensure the safety and well-being of the child and children. We do also participate in the USDA meal CACFP food program. Again, we do serve 68 students, and we do prioritize Southwest Texas families first. We support student success. Students can come in to do observation hours for their child development courses. And we do have the opportunity for people to come work at our center through the work-study program. We are committed to compliance and continuous improvement. What makes us different? We are highly qualified professional early childhood educators. We follow higher standards that exceed basic childcare requirements. Being a Texas Rising Star Level 4, we are focused on early learning excellence. Intentional teaching and prepares children for school readiness, specific learning goals as we consider the child's interest. We are an early learning program, not just a childcare center. Thank you.
Thank you.
That
Thank you,
concludes
Christine.
my presentation. Any questions?
I just have a quick question on, you said about, you guys have 2 conferences with the family on growth and development. Do you guys do like standardized charts for the kids on height and weight and all that stuff? Or?
We don't, that's not what we focus on. We focus more on their learning development. So an ASQ is going to measure what the child can do. Can the child
Speak words.
help me, girls? Depending on their age,
right.
you know. So that's what we focus on. We do have
Checklist kind of deal?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Mhm. So that's what we focus on. One, the families do, and then the second one in March, the teachers do it. We compare them to see if we do see growth.
Efficiencies.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Good job.
Thank you.
Earlier in your presentation, you said you had a waiting list.
Yes, sir.
What's holding up people being accepted from that waiting list into the programs?
More teachers.
More teachers? You
Yes,
don't
sir.
have more, don't have enough space?
We do have the space. Our capacity for our childcare center is 93 per classroom. With 1 teacher, our numbers go low. So at that time, that means we can only care for children that 1 teacher can care for. If we had double staff, then that means more children.
But there's room there, right? I mean, at this
Yes,
point,
sir.
you have 93 positions, so you have only 68, so you have.
No, yes, sir, we do. Again, the way we determine how many spots we have or how many we can have in our childcare center is based on age, square footage of the inside of the room. Yes, sir.
Thank you. We appreciate your
Thank you.
presentation. It was excellent.
Thank you so much.
Next on our list, we have the Southwest Construction Report.
Yes, sir. Mr. Salinas will present that to us.
Okay, that's going to be hard to top, that wonderful presentation, but I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, good evening, Dr. Watkins, Dr. Gonzalez, board members. If you look on your packet, 5B, we'll have our construction report for January, or this was kind of done in December in our absence. Some of these pictures are kind of leading you to where we're at or getting to where we should have been last week. Some more improvements, and they'll come up in February. In our Chittum campus, we will see in our slides that all of our red iron or our structure beams have already been in place. We have a couple of slides there. The colored tin with insulation is already moving along. That's another picture of the colored of the red iron structural beams. You'll see the white rolls of insulation on the inside of the slab there. That is our exterior tin going up on that slide there. And that is the insulation. It is, I asked for the rating. The rating that it shows on the specs is an R15 rating, which is probably on the high end. Our warehouse that we built here was an R11, and that is just how for insulation and heat transferring in and out of the building. Those are labs there. We will have classrooms on the inside of this particular project in Eagle Pass.
Why the difference in insulation between this one and that one?
It's a thickness.
Right, I know, but
this one here is an R11, so it's more of a reflective for actual sun that never hits it, but if it can, so it'll reflect. So most insulations you don't see because they're covered with the white sheeting, but there's insulation on the inside. I don't know if I can go back to the picture and you'll see the
I'm
corner.
just asking, why didn't we use a standard of like 15? The thicker the better, isn't it?
Because there was no students at our warehouse here. It's a single attendance, so we did insulate with an R19, the attendant, the IT room, and the bathroom that we built in our warehouse. But our warehouse is just occupied, and we were able to put natural gas heaters, which run cheaper.
What's going into this building?
This will be HVAC, year 1 and year 2. So half of the building will occupy the HVAC year 1 and the other half HVAC year 2.
Thank you.
So we have our man doors. So each building, because of egress and due to in case of fire, they have 2 roll-up doors, one on each class lab, and then we have a man door, a metal man door on each of the sides of the building. In Del Rio, any questions on the Chittum HVAC? In Eagle Pass? Any questions on where we're at? We'll move to our expansion in Del Rio, which will house welding and construction science. That is moving a little slower. It's 2 different contractors. One of the contractors ordered their building ahead of time. The other one did not. So we're waiting on J-bolts. The concrete will be poured early part of next week. I will be there on Tuesday at noon for a meeting, and we should be. I'll have better idea on their timing. They are a couple of weeks behind schedule. Nothing major. They have a couple of weather days incorporated in the entirety of the project. We shouldn't be using them this early, but they have used some already. So this is a picture of what it looks like right now. They have already put in place all the rebar, all the infrastructure. This project here does not have classrooms, so it'll have 2 offices, but it will have its bath and all, similar to the one in Eagle Pass. So we're just waiting on the J bolts that are the plates where the red structure beams bolt onto. So once those come in, and they should have been here yesterday or today. And I apologize, I was out for 3 days. Becoming a grandpa again for the 3rd time.
What? Congratulations.
So that is our project there, where we stand in Del Rio as of early part of the year. They did take some time off. The contractors in Del Rio took an extra 3 days during the Christmas and New Year's. The guys down in Eagle Pass, they just took that day to end the year, and then they started back up on that Friday the 2nd. So,
Do you have a date when completion should be completed?
fall of 26.
So this year?
Yes, sir.
By the fall semester?
In the Del Rio, part of the Del Rio, well, also on the backside or coming around the building, we will also have a power line tech program. So that should be done before the building is complete. And those will be housed in a portable building. So that program will start before the fall of 26.
For the fall semester or later in the fall?
I think we have possibly May or before May. They have hired an instructor. So he will start the Eagle Pass program first, and then he will move on and he will do dual and then change over to Del Rio.
Dr. Watkins, I might add that the Powerline Tech program will be beginning in March. They're going to run their first program in February in Eagle Pass, and then March will be in Del Rio. Both programs we are really, really pushing to have them both started in the fall. So we should be, for the cohorts that come into the fall, that's our target, and that's what we're pretty confident we're going to get it.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the President's report, or construction report first. Excuse me.
Yeah, that was a construction report.
Okay. So then we have the President's report.
Yes, sir. It might be quick because I was just going out and really outlining some issues, not issues, some points, important points in the audit. Eric covered them, so I don't need to cover them again. And the rest of the items we'll have throughout the board agenda there. So unless there are specific questions, that's the update there.
Thank you. Next, we consider an act on the consent agenda. Number 1, the minutes of the November 20th, 25 regular meeting, a financial statement of December 31st, 25, quarterly investment report. Do I hear a motion?
Is this on the consent agenda?
Consent agenda.
Second.
Motion been made and
Second.
seconded to consider an act on the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion's carried. Next, we have the act to consider act on a limited policy manual update 50
Yes, sir. This is item number 8 in your board packet. It's, the update itself is approximately 3 inches thick. I kind of highlighted the cover letter, some of the significant changes. Most of them we've already talked about. For example, BD Local changed the posting requirements from 72 hours to 3 business days. BGC Local modifies the language due to Senate Bill 37 regarding the faculty councils and their role with the institution. CDB Local modifies language to allow boards to designate higher capitalization limits. We currently have 5,000. And what that is talking about is the capitalization refers to when we purchase a piece of equipment, are we going to depreciate it or expense it out? And right now the threshold is 5. This language allows the board to increase that to 10,000, 20,000, whatever number the board designates. And that impacts our depreciation. CM Local is kind of similar. Currently, we have the construction bidding threshold at 50,000, and this allows the boards to raise it to 100,000 or higher and still be in compliance with state law. DC Local modifies the hiring practices, eliminates any reference to DEI, incorporates those DEI prohibitions that were passed by the state. DGC Local modifies free speech on campus, the policies, and DJA Local is the language that prohibits remote work. So those are the highlights. Behind it, you have the specific language, the specific policies that kind of summarize. They'd say everything that says legal is not for board action, it's for board awareness, because we don't have a say whether we get to follow legal or not. We must. The local ones, those are the ones that the board is adopting, and these are based on TASB's recommendation of the changes in the legal. So you can kind of see the summary of that, and then the subsequent pages kind of give you a little paragraph to explain, what those changes are. We've gone through them, and like I said, those on the first page are kind of the highlights that caught my attention. I didn't see anything, that really changes the scope of anything that wasn't identified there.
Got a quick question on the DJA Local, on the remote work restriction. We had talked about it, and it's basically just a faculty, correct? Or is it?
It's primarily faculty. It does apply to all, but they're really focused on faculty and to full-time faculty. If they have a full-time teaching load, that they cannot be teaching remotely. And there's some exceptions to that if they're, what are the exceptions? No, the exceptions are if they're part-time or if they're adjunct. Then like, I want to say we have them in the cybersecurity program where they just teach that one class or 2 classes for the cyber, that they work for USA and they teach adjunct for us. So that is continued to be allowable. But if a full-time faculty member, it's not allowable. They have to originate it from our campus.
And the DC, Hector, that's what we do already, right?
Yes.
The same
So
policy?
we really didn't have any DEI in our hiring policies where we would give, a lot of universities would have preference points if you were Hispanic, if you were a woman, if you, et cetera. But ours have been, equal opportunity since I've been here. So it really didn't impact our hiring practices. But they did change the language in the policy to explicitly state that we don't have any DEI practices.
And on BD, the first one on the 72 hours versus 3 business days, at this point when our meetings are on Thursdays, basically as long as we get everything done by Monday, right? Friday.
So, and there's 2 different interpretations. I'm going with the most conservative. They say you can't count the day that you post.
Oh, okay.
And you can't count the day of the meeting. So that, for us, we post it on Friday, and then we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Those are our 3 days.
For 3 days.
So that's kind of how we've interpreted that.
That's what we've always done anyway.
Yes.
For our meetings.
Unless there's a change in the past, we would say, okay, we can change it up till Monday afternoon and still comply with 72 hours. But now the agendas have to be in, or
Business
have to be
days.
posted Friday to keep us in compliance for a Thursday meeting.
Okay.
And we've been doing that since September, but they just got around to updating the policies.
Okay.
So that's why you've heard some of this DEI, because we had to take action in September, and we've done that. And now they're going back and they're catching up with all the legal policies to follow and adjusting to the local. And TASB is specific about how they want the motion. So I put that very last paragraph there on their recommendation on how to make the motion for approving the.
I'll go ahead and make that motion if we're done. It's just, I move that the board add, revise, or delete local policies as recommended by TASB, Community College Services, and according to the instruction sheet for TASB localized policy manual updates, number 50.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the policy manual update 50. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. We will now consider an act on authorizing RFP for elevators.
Yes, so item number 9, RFPs are requests for proposals. So at this point, what we're seeking is authorization from the board to create the request for proposals, issue them out, and then once we receive the bids, come back to the board for a decision. So the first step is formally approving, giving us authorization to prepare and issue a request for proposal. So that's what's occurring here. You can kind of flip there. The architect has given us some cost estimates and also some renderings of what it might look like. For the administration building, we're looking at placing the elevator where the exterior doors are on the back side towards the fountain to access the second floor. And on the library, I know there's a picture here of, let's see if there is a
backside.
It would be on the outside towards the.
Is it on the north side or south side?
Towards Hubbard. Towards Hubbard. So
On the
facing
south
north.
side?
So you'd have to go inside the library, take a left, and then the elevator will be there to take you to.
Be on the south side. I just have a couple of questions on the elevator installation for the first one.
Yes.
Just on the cost, why are they charging us for testing, plumbing? There's not any plumbing in there.
These are just the architect's estimates.
Okay, so these are not the.
This is not a
proposal.
bid, no.
Okay.
And I've checked with our purchasing agent, and there is several elevator companies on the state buy board that can come in and do that. She's waiting for authorization, and then she'll put it out to them, and then we'll have a good indication of what they can do. They're on a state list already. I have the same reactions when I see the cost estimates from our architect and engineers, because I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, they install it, they should be testing it that it works. They shouldn't be charging us for testing. I'm assuming that's what it is.
I am hopeful that
it's not going to be this much.
Correct.
Because it's about $700,000.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Well,
What figure are you hoping at? What figure are you hoping at?
well,
400? That sounds more reasonable.
Right.
This seems to be extremely.
So these are
far-reaching.
guesstimates at this point.
Yes.
Hopefully they're maximum, and hopefully there's going to be much less than what we're looking at.
yes.
Well, first, we have to start by receiving proposals.
Correct.
Yes.
Authorizing us to do it, and then we'll receive them. I may come to you in 60 days and say, we're going to do one elevator instead of two.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. You'll get another surprise with the next item there.
Do I hear a motion to authorize the
I so
request for
move.
proposal for the elevators?
I so moved
Ms. Lara,
for the president to
Made and
prepare and issue
seconded to
appropriate requests.
authorize the
second,
proposals.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. We're now consider an act authorizing request for proposals for the Ford Hall air conditioning.
Yes, sir. This is item number 10 in your board packet. Again, this RFP will incorporate two phases. So the first is air conditioning the gym. And the second part to that is enclosing, I guess it would be the east side, kind of covered porch and turn it into a concession stand where they would come in through there and then go into the gym. So behind that documentation, you will see, again, the estimate from the architect. And
Not doing solid. Got a quick question. Yeah, we got some stuff in there too, but anyway, so like on the concession stand, have we worked out the details as who's gonna be maintaining that and getting the money from it and all that?
so generally, the times that we run it with a concession stand is for the December basketball tournament.
Mhm.
And in the past, it's been Phi Theta Kappa that volunteers to do the concession stand. But we can, I mean, that's who has done it in the past. So instead of setting up a tent outside, they would have a place to do it in there. I'm hoping that with it being air conditioned, that we can get more utilization out of it, especially during the summer when it's so hot, and get more utilization out of the concession stand. But generally, it's been either student clubs or faculty association or groups like that run it as part of their fundraiser for their club. And that seemed to work out well. We do that with the rodeo.
Mhm.
It's just one of the student organizations that runs the concession. They take care of everything, and then whatever profit they get, they use that to fund the club. So that's been the model that works. It seemed to be working best.
What schedule will the concession stand be open?
Or just when we have an activity.
Just for an activity only?
Yeah. So if we have a tournament, if we host a basketball game, a volleyball game, or volleyball tournaments for those kind of scenarios. Yeah, so that first page there, you see the cost estimate for that concession stand.
That's good. We have a roof already there.
And a floor.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw it, I went to Mark, Dr. Underwood, and I said, okay, am I totally off base here, or is this crazy? And he says, what? So more than likely, we're going to do this in-house. You see the picture there. We're really just talking about enclosing that area that's covered.
Right.
In fact, half of that area, it's not the full area. I don't see us spending $50,000 to do that, including the equipment. It's got walls, it's got roof. I mean, it's got the support for the walls. So I just don't see how we get to $277,000. So that gives you an idea of how estimates are compared to real life.
Okay. Hopefully, real life will.
Yes.
Through.
Is the concession stand to feature warm foods, or is this just snacks?
Snacks. Really what we wanted to do is enclose that area because it's full of doors and windows, and we don't want to lose air conditioning through that opening. So we figured if we enclose that area, we can have a counter to pay to get in, and we can also incorporate a small concession, maybe cheese, nachos, but sodas, light. I mean, we're not going to be making burgers. If they do, they're going to make them outside, bring them in. But really the main function is to keep us from losing cooling through all those windows that are there.
All in all, good idea. Very good idea.
Part of it is going to be if you go to the gym, behind the bleachers, there's another row of windows. Our goal is to block those in insulate and close them, again, to protect the airflow in there.
Major feature is the air conditioning for the hall.
Yes. So it's really for the gym floor. The balance of the gym is air conditioned already, where the office, the weight rooms, the racquetball courts, all that's air conditioned already. It's just the gym floor itself that's not air conditioned. So that's, in essence, is what we're talking about with that. The first packet is the concession stand. The second packet is the physical air conditioning. And, you see the rooftop unit, the cost. They're estimating $2.2 million. I'm hoping it'll come in around $800,000. But engineers will do what engineers do.
I remember when we talked about it a couple of years ago, we were looking at 1 million, and it would seem like a lot of money at that time.
Well,
Millions.
One of the big drivers in it is the electrical supply to power the units. And when we had first looked at it, they were the power, if you look at that picture again, on the far right-hand side wall is where the power comes into the gym. So they were gonna have to upgrade that whole panel on the east side, north side, on the right, and bring it up and around. And talking to our crew here, Al and our electricians, there's a transformer area immediately to the left of it between the gym and
Tate.
Tate.
Yeah, there's
an enclosure there. So instead of rewiring the entire gym, we're looking at upgrading the transformer between the gym and Tate, and then just running a separate line just to power the units. So that's shaved off a lot of the cost, and we're hoping that we can still take some of the cost off of here.
Okay.
So again, we won't do anything until we get the bids back, and then we can make that formal decision.
So we need an act.
Yes, sir.
To consider authorizing RFP for LaForge Hall.
Yes, sir.
I hear a motion.
I so move to authorize the president to prepare and issue the appropriate proposals.
Very second. Motion been made and seconded to act on authorizing RFP for LaForge Hall air conditioning. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Now we have to consider an act to order a general election for political subdivisions.
Yes, sir. This is item number 11 in your board packet. And we have two places that are up for re-election. That is place 4 and place 5. And that is for Mr. Moreno's position and Mr. Munoz's position. And so what this action does is order the election.
We need a motion to order the general election for the political subdivisions.
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a motion?
Dr. Rivera.
Motion made, seconded.
Yes, Ms. Shackelford, second.
Accept the order to have a general election for political subdivisions. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Consider an act on notice of general election for other political divisions.
Yes, sir. So item number 12 is approving of the notice that we have to post that notifies the public of the district ordering the election. The election day is May 2nd, 2026. First day of early voting is April 20th. First day to file is January 15th today. The last day to file is February 13th at 5 p.m.
So we need to have a motion to serve notice of general election for other political subdivisions.
Yes, sir.
I'll move.
Anybody just second? Motion been made and seconded to serve a notice of general election for other political subdivisions. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Next on our agenda is to consider personnel matters. The board will convene a closed session in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551074, to consider the evaluations of president, employment-related matters. Would you excuse us?
With discrimination, retaliation.
To open session, to reconvene the meeting, we need to consider an act on the president's contract. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion that we renew Dr. Gonzalez's contract and extend an extra year, and also to give him a raise as we discussed in the executive session.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Next agenda on the item on the agenda is the adjournment. We have a motion.
Well, before I move to adjourn, I just want to thank April Ruman for coming up to the Lakey Junior Livestock Show. It's always amazing to get to stand up in front of the audience and let them know that Southwest Texas College is in Uvalde, and a great opportunity that it is. And she was excellent. She has the PR. So, anyway. So now I guess if there's no further business, I move we adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
For adjourning? Say aye.
Aye.
Anybody wish to stay? We are adjourned. Thank you all for attending.